Why is feeding your children junk 24/7 and making them morbidly obese not seen as child abuse? It seems like something that would be incredibly hard to police. How do you determine nutritional intake like that? We barely have the resources to help children who are being physically abused in more immediately dangerous ways. What do you really expect us to do? How does criminalizing parents help? If they did, then they'd have to go after parents who smoke as well. This entire discussion is BS. It is not junk that makes people obese, it is the amount of junk. It is simple math. If you put more calories in than your body needs, you will become obese. So even if you feed your kid junk, as long as they don't overeat, they are fine. My daughter is 10 and enjoys junk food in moderation, and she is perfectly fine. We didn't have junk food, but people in my culture. People encourage eating a lot more than they should. I have never been a big eater. I chew my food more than 40 times before I swallow. So I become full easily, and I've been thin since I was a kid. Everyone in my family criticized my body. They used to feed me so much food that I am not interested in the food of my culture. I will eat any food as long as it's not from my culture. Now that I'm an adult, my cousins are adults too. They're obese. Some have diabetes at a young age. And I'm normal. I've been at both ends of the spectrum when it comes to food security. Some years I was able to purchase fresh fruits and veggies on the regular. Other years we had to eat the cheap top ramen every day just to out food in our bellies. Also, some family live in food deserts where finding healthy food options are not easy to do, because the nearest grocery store is out of reach. And another thing to consider is some children refuse to eat healthier foods. And it's just easier on the family as a unit to not have a drag-out fight every day over food. Just something to consider. Can you imagine? In all other aspects of your life, your parents are happy and loving. But you are fat. And now, you have been taken away from your loving parents and put in a foster home, which is a total roll of the dice in terms of child abuse, much of which is a lot worse than eating junk food. As my dad would say, it's your right if you want to kill your kids. Obviously, he doesn't mean literally, but the idea that you can give whatever life you want to your kids, because they're your kids, and you can't be stopped. In my opinion, having kids should be looked at and treated 100% differently from a regulation and societal perspective. It's a complicated issue, but nowadays it's really become so commonplace without any regard to its true importance and the multiple levels of implications it carries. It should be treated as a very, very big deal with hurdles to entry and requirements. And caring for children should be like the absolute #1 goal of humankind, which includes taking care of the world for the future generations. Just my 2 cents. Also, I'm a parent. It's not always that simple. I was average weight at 14 and started birth control and depression meds at 15 and gained over 100 pounds. I wasn't eating nothing but junk, but the side effects of the meds were weight gain. My depression got worse, and that caused my eating habits to get worse. It's not called comfort food for no reason. But I still ate fruits and vegetables, and my parents cooked balanced meals. But I have never been able to lose the weight. As an adult, it's gotten worse. I can either take meds that work for my mental health and worry about gaining more weight, take meds that don't work well for but don't cause weight gain and still be fat 'cause I can't lose it, or I can be unmedicated and struggle with my mental health and still be fat. It's a lose-lose battle. Because the assessment of it would be difficult considering some external factors. Genes, health issues that makes it difficult to stay thin unless a very restrictive diet, disordered eating, hiding food, binging, etc. Also, little to no nutrition education is provided, and highly transformed food is cheaper. It is also what is given to food banks given that they don't spoil easily. So, all in all, lack of resources and of real support makes for poor food decisions, and child services are already overloaded with victims of sexual, physical or emotional abuse. One of my friends today was bragging about how her kid can eat a large pizza and order of wings by herself. The kid is 5. Because it's become normalized for adults. Because people think obese children look funny. But an underweight child receives the opposite reaction. Think about it. There's memes about obese children and the media claims lol it's funny. But it's his fault, or you're fat shaming. But an underweight child looks more pale, more unhealthy, not something to joke about. I once saw a deeply disturbing video on YouTube. A young father had primary custody of his young daughter. He had recently put her on a strict diet, as she was grossly overweight due to the mother spoiling her and catering to her every whim before the divorce. The CPS worker in charge of his case, who was an obese woman, threatened to revoke the father's custody if he continued to control his daughter's eating habits. The worst part was the evil smirk she had as she told the father this. The dad secretly recorded the whole thing. It's a rather old video, so the daughter must be an adult or almost an adult by now. Look, I was a junk food kid. I was always skinny, like under 100 pounds. Then puberty hits and I gain 50 pounds in 2 years. Well, eating health and being extremely active. Sometimes it's more than just you feed your kids crap. It is. Look up time poverty, and you'll get an idea. It isn't that they can't. It's more like there isn't enough time. Where will they find the time to learn how to cook better? Find those coupons? Go to all of those different stores? A major part of the problem is that junk food and heavily processed foods are often the cheapest, making them the main source of food for the less fortunate. Source: me. I am poor. The education system fails us because it doesn't emphasize important life stuff in U.S. schools. Things like proper nutrition, finance or credit education, for example. So people grow up and either sink or swim with respect to those type of things. I think it would be common sense to say, hey, maybe we should try introducing some veggies early on, but not every household is like yours. Sometimes kids refuse to eat and it's hard to watch them starve as a parent. So you give in to those unhealthy requests. On the other hand, I think it's a matter of discipline. But lemme stop before y'all downvote me to oblivion. Because the food industry will lobby against such laws before they can hit the floor.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.